Duterte was born on March 28, 1945, in Maasin, southern Leyte. His father was Vicente G. Duterte, a Cebuano lawyer, and his mother, Soledad Duterte, was a schoolteacher from Cabadbaran, Aguzan and a civic leader of Maranao descent. Duterte has said that his grandfather was Chinese and hailed from Xiamen in Fujian, China. Duterte's father was mayor of Danao, Cebu, and subsequently the provincial governor of Davao Province. Rodrigo's cousin Ronald was mayor of Cebu City from 1983 to 1986. Ronald's father, Ramon Duterte, also held that position from 1957 to 1959. The Dutertes consider the Cebu-based political families of the Geronimo and the Almendras clan as relatives. Duterte also has relatives from the Roa clan in Leyte through his mother's side. Duterte's family lived in Maasin, and in his father's hometown in Danao, until he was 4 years old. The Dutertes initially moved to Mindanao in 1948, but still went back and forth to the Visayas until 1949. They finally settled in the Davao region in 1950. Vicente worked as a lawyer engaged in private practice. Soledad worked as a teacher until 1952, when Vicente entered politics, education and early law career. Duterte went to Laboon Elementary School in Maasin for a year. He spent his remaining elementary days at Santa Ana Elementary School in Davao City, where he completed his primary education in 1956. He finished his secondary education in the high school department of Holy Cross College of Digos and Digos, Davao Province, after being expelled twice from previous schools, including one in the Ateneo de Davao University High School due to misconduct. He graduated in 1968 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science at the Lyceum of the Philippines in Manila. He obtained a law degree from San Beda College of Law in 1972. In the same year, he passed the bar exam. Duterte eventually became a special counsel at the City Prosecution Office in Davao City from 1977 to 1979, 4th Assistant City Prosecutor from 1979 to 1981, 3rd Assistant City Prosecutor from 1981 to 1983, and 2nd Assistant City Prosecutor from 1983 to 1986. Sexual abuse. Duterte has claimed that he was sexually abused by a priest when he was a minor. After he was challenged by the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines and ado officials to name the priest and file a case against him, Duterte then revealed the priest's name as Fr. Mark Falvey, S.J. The Jesuits of the Society of Jesus in the Philippines confirmed that according to press reports in the United States, in May 2007, the Society of Jesus agreed to a tentative payout of $16 million to settle claims that Falvey sexually abused at least 9 children in Los Angeles from 1959 to 1975. Accusations against Falvey began in 2002, and he was never charged with a crime. Additionally, in May 2008, the Diocese of Sacramento paid a $100,000 settlement to a person allegedly raped and molested by Mark's brother, Fr. Arthur Falvey. However, it was not clearly indicated in the report if Mark Falvey was assigned at the Jesuit-run Ateneo de Davao. When asked why he did not complain when the abuse supposedly happened, Duterte claimed that he was too young to complain about the priest's abuse and was intimidated by authorities at that time. He also stated that he never disclosed that information after he was expelled and moved to a different high school, and especially not to his family. Shooting of student at law school. Duterte stated at a rally in April 2016 that he shot a fellow student who had bullied him about his Visayan origin as well as other students of the same ethnicity, while at San Beda Law College. He said, "But the truth is, I'm used to shooting people. When we were about to graduate from San Beda, I shot a person. Duterte said that he shot the student in a corridor at the college when the said student called him names again. He later told a reporter that the student survived, but refused to answer any further questions about the incident. However, in an interview aired on 24 Horas and published on the official GMA News Online website on April 22, 2016, retired labor arbiter Arthur Amansek said Duterte and Octavio Goco at that time were both playing with a gun, as it was normal for students to bring guns to school in the 70s. Amansek is Duterte's former classmate in Sambeda College who witnessed the incident. He added that the bullet hit the school's wooden floor and was embedded there. Amansek emphasized that Duterte and Goco remained friends until Goco died in the United States years later. After the 1986 People Power Revolution that toppled the regime of President Ferdinand Marcos, Duterte was appointed officer in charge vice mayor by President Corazon Aquino. In 1988, he ran for mayor as an independent and won, serving until 1998. He set a precedent by designating deputy mayors that represented the Lumad and Moro peoples in the city government, which was later copied in other parts of the Philippines. In December 1990, Duterte joined the Nacionalista Party upon the persuasion of Senator Juan Ponce Enrile. In 1998, because he was term-limited to run again for mayor, he ran for the House of Representatives and won as congressman of the 1st District of Davao City. In 2001, he ran again for mayor of Davao and was elected for a 4th term. He was re-elected in 2004 and in 2007. In 1995, after floor contemplation, a Filipina was executed in Singapore after confessing to a double murder. Duterte allegedly burned a flag of Singapore and joined 1,000 employees of Davao City in protest in 2010. He was elected vice mayor, succeeding his daughter, Sara Duterte Carpio, who was elected as mayor. In 2013, Davao City sent rescue and medical teams to Tacloban to give aid to the victims of Typhoon Haiyan. Financial assistance was also given to Bohol and Cebu for earthquake victims. Duterte also passed Davao City's Women Development Code, which aims to uphold the rights of women and the belief in their worth and dignity as human beings. Duterte banned swimsuit competitions and beauty pageants in Davao City. Duterte also gained prominence for supporting the first-ever Gawad Kalinga village inside a jail facility in Davao City. It is a home-type jail with 10 cottages built inside the compound, which now serve as homes for female inmates. Law and order. During Duterte's tenure as mayor, Davao City experienced economic boom and a significant decrease in crime from being a conflict-ridden area between communists and right-wing groups during the 1970s and 80s, and is constantly rated as among the safest in the country. The city also ranks high in the world according to crowdsourced survey site Numbeo, a narrative that gained currency in the national media, creating a widespread public perception that has been a significant factor in establishing support for his nationwide drug policy. The city was also awarded Most Child-Friendly City for Highly Urbanized category in 1998, 1999, 2013 and 2014. Under Duterte's watch, the city council imposed a prohibition on selling, serving, drinking, and consuming alcoholic beverages from 1 o'clock until 8 o'clock each morning. Duterte signed Executive Order No. 39, reducing the speed limits for all kinds of motor vehicles within the territorial jurisdiction of Davao City in the interest of public safety and order. Duterte also signed Executive Order No. 04 creating the implementing of rules and regulations for a new comprehensive anti-smoking ordinance. A firecracker ban was also implemented by the city council through the support of Duterte. Davao acquired 10 ambulances for Central 911 intended for medical emergencies and 42 mobile patrol vehicles and motorcycles for the Davao City Police Office. Duterte, through Executive Order No. 24, ordered all shopping malls and commercial centers to install, operate and maintain high-end and high-definition closed-circuit television cameras at all entrance and exit points of their premises. In early September 2015, an incident was reported of a tourist being forced to swallow his own cigarette butt in a local bar in Davao City after the tourist refused to comply with the public anti-smoking ordinance of the city. Duterte was contacted by the bar owner, and then mayor personally went into the bar and forced the tourist to swallow his cigarette butt. Duterte was then met with criticisms, especially from the Commission on Human Rights Davao Death Squad. Duterte speaks with Davao City residents in 2009. Main article, Davao Death Squad. Further information, Philippine Drug War Senate Committee, and Philippine Drug War Arturo Las Cañas. Duterte has been linked by human rights groups such as Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch to extrajudicial killings of over 1,400 alleged criminals and street children by vigilante death squads. In the April 2009 UN General Assembly of the Human Rights Council, the UN report said, the mayor of Davao City has done nothing to prevent these killings, and his public comments suggest that he is, in fact, supportive. Duterte stressed that the concept of human rights for criminals is Western and should not apply to the Philippines. We're the 9th safest city. How do you think I did it? How did I reach that title among the world's safest cities? Kill them all. Duterte, May 15, 2015. Duterte has denied responsibility for the extrajudicial killings. He has also frequently announced his support for them. In 2015, Duterte confirmed his links to extrajudicial killings in Davao, and warned that, if elected president, he may kill up to 100,000 criminals. After the said confirmation, Duterte challenged human rights officials to file a case against him if they could provide evidence of his links with vigilante groups. Federalism Advocacy. Main article, Federalism and Rodrigo Duterte. In September 2014, Duterte and former mayors and governors, calling themselves the Mindanao Council of Leaders, advocated for a federalist government. A month later, Duterte attended an event sponsored by the Federal Movement for a Better Philippines in Cebu City. In December 2014, Duterte held a summit entitled Mindanao's Forging Unity Toward a Federal System of Government. As early as the first quarter of 2015, Duterte made hints to the media of his intention to run for president in the 2016 elections. However, he denied these plans numerous times amidst clamor from his supporters for him to run. In January, Duterte said he would abolish Congress if he chose to run for president and was elected. On November 21st, in a private gathering with fraternity brothers from San Beda College of Law, Duterte formally announced his presidential bid and also finally accepted Alan Peter Cayetano's offer to be his running mate, and named his daughter, Sarah Duterte, as his substitute for mayor. In his campaign, he said he would introduce a federal parliamentary form of government. He also promised to kill tens of thousands of criminals and eradicate crime in 6 months. Constitutional reform. Main article, Federalism and Rodrigo Duterte. Duterte campaigned for decentralization and a shift to a federal government during the 2016 presidential election. In an October 2014 forum organized by Federal Movement for a Better Philippines in Cebu City prior to joining the presidential race, the then mayor of Davao City called for the creation of 2 federal states for Moro people as a solution to the problems besetting Mindanao.
I continue to
Mayor
offer a
Duterte said that
profound
Nurmisuari
gratitude to our
and his Moro
medical
National
professionals,
Liberation Front do not see eye to eye with the Moro
and
Islamic
frontliners for
Liberation
doing a
Front, which the
remarkable job
administration
since the
of
start
President
COVID-19
Benigno Aquino
pandemic.
III had inked a peace deal with.
I likewise thank the Filipino people
He
for
also said that the
continuing to
template of the
cooperate with the
Bangsamoro
health
Basic Law
authorities
is federal,
and for
but what is granted to the
following health
Bangsamoro should also
protocols.
be granted to other
Yan lang
Moro groups
talaga.
and other
Kung
regions in the
makinig lang kayo
country.
sa gobyerno,
In a
tapos
dialogue with the
sundin ninyo
Makati
yung
Business Club prior to
hindi
the
naman
elections, Duterte
advice
said
yan
he is
sa
open to
mga
toning
doktor.
down the constitution to
Wala talaga
accommodate
tayong
more foreign
problema.
investors to the Philippines.
Ako yung, maski na
He also
sumunod
said
ka
he is
dahil
open to
ayaw
up to
mong
70% foreign ownership of
maka-awa ng
businesses in the
kapwa mo o
country and
makuha
foreign
mo
lease
yun.
of lands up to 60 years, but
Yun
will
lang.
leave it to
Pati yung
Congress
hugas
to
ng kamay.
decide. Rape comments. Further
Sabon lang
information,
mo
Rodrigo Duterte
pati
2016 presidential
yung
campaign
hindi na
rape of an
kailangan
Australian
yung
missionary.
mamamahalin.
At a
Yung
campaign
panlaban
rally on
lang,
April 12,
panlaban na,
2016,
di ba John, pwede
Duterte
na yan?
told supporters that, as mayor, he thought he
Sabi
should
ni
have been
Yusek,
first to rape Jacqueline
dumama,
Hamel, an Australian missionary who was gang raped and
Ano
killed
lang?
during the 1989 Davao hostage crisis.
Itong nauso na
He recalled
fist
examining
bump.
her corpse and saying that he should
Pwede
have
na
gone
siguro
first.
yan. Matagal pa tayong mabalik
After
sa...
being condemned for his comments,
Ngayon, pag
Duterte
nagmamano kayo,
apologized
ang
for the
tinginan yung
incident
tao.
and claimed the comment was a bad remark and that he
Titignan
regretted
ka
his
lang.
gutter
Iba ang tingin
language,
sa'yo
but
pag
would not
nagkamano ka
apologize
ngayon sa
for being
maraming tao.
misinterpreted.
Yung iba, yung
He said that the comment was not a
maglayo
joke,
kay bayan,
as was
ba't namanuhin
reported
mo?
by some media outlets, and that he made it
They
out
try
of
to
utter
avoid
anger
you.
when recalling the events.
They keep a good
After the
distance.
United States and
Well,
Australia's
let's not go to the
ambassadors to the
elections.
Philippines criticized
It was
him
a
for the
peaceful,
comments, Duterte
generally
threatened to
peaceful.
sever diplomatic ties with the countries if
I
elected.
thank and congratulate the
His
COMELEC,
daughter
our
Sarah
teachers,
Duterte
the military,
subsequently
the
announced
police,
on social
and the
media that
civil
she was a rape
society
victim,
sector,
but would still vote
and
for
of
her
course the
father.
thousands of
He said that he
volunteers
doubted her story
for all
and called her a
for
drama
all the
queen.
work
Human
and
rights.
handling
In a campaign
participation in the
speech on
conduct
April
of this year's
27,
election.
2016, where he spoke to business leaders,
Sana
he
yung
said his
manalo,
presidency would be a
i-advance
bloody one,
whoever would
but that
come
he would
out.
issue 1,000
You
pardons a
have
day
my
to police and soldiers accused of human rights
congratulations
abuses,
well in advance.
and would also issue a
I am
presidential
hopeful that
pardon
you
to
will
himself for
serve
mass
the
murder at the
Filipino
end of his
people with all
6-year
your
term.
heart and
Election
ability,
to the presidency.
and prioritize the welfare of
On
the
May
general
30,
public above
2016,
everything.
the 16th Congress of the Philippines
To the
proclaimed Duterte as the
candidates who have failed to
president-elect of the
secure
Philippines
seats,
after he topped the official count by the
I thank
Congress
you
of the
as well
Philippines
your
for the
participation in
2016
this
presidential
electoral
election with
process. Yung natalo. You may not have won this
16,601,997
time, but I hope
votes.
that you will
6.
continue to serve our people
6 million
in your
more than his
capacity as
closest
leaders
rival,
in respective
Maroxis.
sectors and
Cameron's
communities.
Sir Representative Lenny
More
Robredo, on the other
importantly,
hand, was proclaimed
I
as the vice
thank and
president-elect of the
congratulate the
Philippines
Filipino
with
people.
14,418,817
You made the elections successful because you have
votes,
made
narrowly
your
defeating
will
Senator Bongbong
known by
Marcos by
performing your sacred right and duty
263,473 votes.
to vote.
Presidency.
Let us continue to support
The
and watch
presidency
the
of
families
Duterte
over
began at noon on June
the
30,
and
2016,
our
when he
society,
became the
civil society
16th
partners,
president of the
that
Philippines,
this will
succeeding Benigno
end
Aquino
in a
III.
very
At the age of
correct
71,
manner,
Duterte became
and
the oldest person ever
maybe the
elected to the
proclamation
presidency.
of the winners.
Duterte is also the first
Ito
local
namang,
chief executive to
yung
get
may
elected straight to the office of the president, the second Cebuano to
sabi
become
nila na
president,
mga
the
sira
third
na hindi
Cebuano
nagbasa
speaking
ng
president,
vote. I hope
the
that
first
COMELEC would
Visayan
also
from
find time
Mindanao,
to
and the fourth
investigate.
Visayan overall,
Just
after
to,
Osmeña, Manuel Roxas and Garcia.
disabuse the minds
Shortly
of those
after his inauguration
na
on June
may dayaan.
30th, Duterte
Wala
held
akong
his
nakita
first cabinet
sa
meeting
totoo
to lay
lang.
out
At
their
hindi
first
rin talaga
agenda,
ako
which
papayag.
included the country's disaster
Ng
risk reduction
Pero
management,
ganun pa man,
decongesting the Ninoy Aquino
just to
International
satisfy
Airport in Manila,
the
the
doubts
country's main
of,
gateway,
the
and
few
expressed
of
his
them
ideas and concerns
na
regarding the
para
territorial
ay
disputes in the
imbestigahan
South
at
China
yung
Sea prior
result
to the announcement of the verdict of the Philippines
ibigay sa
arbitration
tao
case against
kung
China
ano ang
over the
nangyari.
issue, which the Philippines later won.
As we
4
await the
days
final
later, on
unofficial
July
results
4th,
of the
he issued his
proclamation
first
of winners
executive
for the
order,
remaining
allowing
seats,
his cabinet secretary to
let us
supervise
continue
over
to
several
participate and
agencies
watch
that
the
focus on poverty
electoral process.
reduction.
Once the will of the people has finally
He
been
called for
made
the
known,
reimposition of
and all
capital
the
punishment
winners
in the country to
have
execute
been
criminals
officially
involved in
proclaimed,
heinous
we will
crimes,
begin the
such as illegal
important
drug
process
trade,
of
insisting on
transition
hanging.
of power to our new
During his
set
first
of
100
leaders.
days in office,
Sinabi ko,
Duterte issued an executive order on freedom of
I would
information,
feel
launched an intensified campaign against illegal drugs,
patriotic
sought to
if
resume peace talks with communist insurgents, formulated a comprehensive
in the
tax
coming
reform
days
plan,
when
led
I
efforts
shall
to pass the
have
Bank's Amoro
to
Basic Law,
transfer the
made
reins
efforts
of
to streamline
to the
government
newly elected
transactions,
president.
launched the nationwide
By
9-1-1
noon of
rescue
June
and
30, I invite the general
8,888
public to
complaint
join me
hotlines,
in
established a
rallying
one-stop
behind our new
service center for
elected
overseas
leaders so we
Filipino
can
workers,
continue the
and
difficult
increased in the
but
combat
rewarding
and
task
incentive pay of
of
soldiers
building a
and police
stronger and
personnel.
more progressive nation.
Duterte made moves to limit U.S. visiting
po
troops in the country, and has reached out to China and Russia to improve relations. He launched tirades against international critics, particularly United States President Barack Obama, the U.S. government, the United Nations, and the European Union, which expressed condemnation to his unprecedented war on drugs that led to the deaths of about 3,300 people, half of which were killed by unknown assailants, and the arrest of 22,000 drug suspects and surrender of about 731,000 people. Following the September 2nd bombing in Davao City that killed 14 people in the city's central business district, on September 3rd Duterte declared a state of lawlessness, and on the following day issued Proclamation No. 55 to officially declare a state of national emergency on account of lawless violence in Mindanao. On December 7th, Duterte signed Executive Order No. 10 creating a consultative committee to review the 1987 Constitution of the Philippines, while adjusting to working and residing at the Malacanang Palace. Duterte divides his workweek between Manila and Davao City by spending 3 days in each city, utilizing the Malacanang of the South while in Davao. A Pulse Asia survey conducted from July 2nd, 8 showed that Duterte had a trust rating of 91%, the highest of the 6 presidents since the Marcos dictatorship. 1 year after taking office, his trust rating was 81%. In December 2016, Duterte was ranked 70th on Forbes' list of the world's most powerful people. Domestic policy, economic policy. Further information, Dutertenomics. Duterte's socio-economic policies, referred to as Dutertenomics, include tax reform, infrastructure development, social protection programs, and other policies to promote economic growth and human development in the country. Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III has said that the government required what he describes as an audacious economic strategy in order for the Philippines to catch up with its more vibrant neighbors by 2022 and help it achieve high-income economy status within a generation. The term Dutertenomics was coined to describe the economic policy of the Duterte administration. Duterte initiated liberal economic reforms to attract foreign investors. In March 2022, he signed Republic Act No. 11,647, which amended the Foreign Investment Act of 1991, effectively relaxing restrictions on foreign investments by allowing foreigners to invest in a local enterprise up to 100% of its capital. He signed Republic Act No. 11,659, amending the 85-year-old Public Service Act, allowing full foreign ownership of public services, which include airports, expressways, railways, telecommunications, and shipping industries, in the country. Duterte reformed the country's tax system in an effort to make the country's tax system fairer, simpler, and more efficient. In December 2017, he signed Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion Law, which excludes those earning an annual taxable income of $250,000 and below from paying the personal income tax, while raising higher excise taxes on vehicles, sugar-sweetened beverages, petroleum products, tobacco and other non-essential goods. Revenues collected from the train law will help fund the administration's massive infrastructure program. In March 2021, to attract more investments and maintain fiscal stability, Duterte signed the Corporate Recovery and Tax Incentives for Enterprises Act, reducing the 30% corporate income tax rate to 25% for firms with assets above 100 million and to 20% for smaller firms. Duterte raised sin taxes on tobacco and vapor products in July 2019, and alcohol beverages and electronic cigarettes in January 2020, to fund the Universal Healthcare Act and reduce incidence of deaths and diseases associated with smoking and alcohol consumption.
Or maybe yung lahat